All right, let's talk about sidechaining or filtering the detector on our stereo compressor. This is something that you may want to do depending on the style of music, but things that have a really solid, heavy kick drum, like if you work on hip hop or electronic music, anything that has a lot of deep bass, deep kick drum stuff, it's going to probably overpower a compressor. For example, I just have this electronic track I downloaded. So it has other percussive stuff, but has a really heavy kick. So if I grabbed a regular compressor, let's go to that Slate Digital. I'm going to grab that FG Gray because it has that filter built in. But if I just leave it as is, crank up my ratio to 4:1, do a fast attack and fast release, and adjust my threshold, you can see and hear that it's reacting really heavily to each time the kick drum hits. And that can throw off the pumping of the song in a way that you probably don't want or you might not want it. So one thing that I do is for stuff like this, if I'm putting on a mix bus or if I'm mastering something that has a really heavy kick drum, really heavy bass, bassy kick drum, I'll engage the high pass filter. So this high pass filter in this compressor here, I can bring it up. It goes from 0 to 150 hertz. So what that'll do is that'll filter out the signal, filter out the low frequencies before it hits the detector of the compressor. So it doesn't take the low frequencies out. It just doesn't respond to frequencies below whatever I set the high pass filter to. So if I set to 150 hertz, basically the compressor is going to react to anything 150 hertz and above. So let's hear how that sounds. So with it off, you can see it pegging a lot harder. When I bring it all the way up to 150 hertz, it seems to be on average a couple of dB less of gain reduction on there, so it'll be less pumping. And so now it's reacting to the percussive elements as a whole as opposed to pretty much mostly just the kick drum. So to give you an example, I'll duplicate this, duplicate it, and the second one, I'll just call it no high pass filter. So this top one has the high pass filter engaged. This bottom one, I'm turning the high pass filter off. So you hear the difference between the two. So having that high pass filter on this top track allows me to keep those kicks prominent in there because the compressor isn't reacting specifically to that kick drum. So that keeps the kick drum strong and hard. So if you're working with hip hop or EDM, that might be a technique that you want to consider playing with.